Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Dale Young. Today we're going to talk about purpose and calling, and hope that this will get you to start thinking about some things that maybe you haven't thought about a lot. Purpose and calling. Let's start with the story that kind of kicked me off as to why I was going to even talk about this week. And that is that something came across my desk the other day. USA Today conducted a poll a few years ago, and in this survey, they inquired of individuals what one question they would like most to ask God. Now, you can see that there could be all kinds of questions that people want to ask God. Maybe, what happened to a loved one, or why suffering exists, or maybe where I'm going to spend eternity, something like that. Now, first place went to this question: what is the purpose of my existence? What is the purpose of my existence? Twice as many polled asked this question over any other. Now that says a lot, right? I mean, obviously, purpose and my purpose and what do I do? What am I supposed to do in the world? All that sort of stuff. Those are big questions. And I don't believe that even though they're big questions, we spend enough time thinking about them and more importantly, doing something about them. So uh, now the way I define purpose is a big question, but it can be depending on how you're using the English language, these terms move and fluctuate and all that sort of stuff. And so I believe you can have purpose in different areas. You can have a purpose in work and a purpose in your marriage and a purpose in your golf game or whatever place you want to do, maybe pickleball or something. I don't know. But I believe calling is something that is divinely inspired. It's divinely given to you at birth, and that it grows over time as you grow. And I don't believe calling changes. I believe calling is bigger than everything else. It comes from God, so it has to be bigger. And so I say all that to say I like to talk about calling rather than purpose, for the reasons that it is divinely inspired, it is given by God, it is also how you serve God and how you serve other people. So when I talk about it, I talk about calling a lot. Okay. And calling to me is one of the reasons why we actually do the things that we do. Okay. I want to tell you a little story. My nephew, Gary Michael Wasson, died suddenly on February 18th of this year, 2025. And he died of a heart attack. And one of the reasons he had a heart attack was he was not taking good care of himself and had not been taking good care of himself for several years, but especially in this last year. And I believe, my own personal belief, but I believe that he was not taking care of himself because he had lost his will to live. And had lost his will to live because his purpose was no longer being something that he lived for. It was not his purpose for living for the longest time had been to just serve others through the gifts and talents that he had, especially in the relational realm of being able to help people get past their struggles and past their burdens and past their roadblocks and things like that. And he did that through volunteering at a couple of organizations, Pathways and Zach's Ridge, and maybe another one or two. And when those organizations either did not continue or they turned their back on Gary, or he didn't achieve the next level that he thought he was going to achieve, whatever the case might be, he turned away from them. And when he did, he started cutting off connections and other things. And so he died a lot lonelier guy than what he had been. And I believe that this is all related to the fact that he was not plugged into his big purpose. He had gotten to a piece of his purpose, his calling, but he hadn't really achieved his understanding of all of it. Now, Gary Michael's probably looking down on me from heaven and saying, Dale, you're all wrong, blah, 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 blah. That it's his right. It's his life. I'm talking about him as if I knew everything about him. I don't, and I don't plan to. I don't really want to. But I see this in so many people that when they lose their passion, their purpose, their calling, when they lose touch with it, they really don't have any place to go. That's why sometimes retired people die so quickly. It's why sometimes married people, when their spouse leaves them, they die pretty quickly after that. We all have a God-given calling. We all have a God-given particular reason. It's not just to serve everybody. It's not just to love God and love others as ourselves. Those are general callings, right? Those apply to all Christians. But we all have a specific calling. My specific calling is to inspire calling in others. And that's what I'm trying to do here. That's what I believe in. And I believe you need to find your own personal calling. What are you uniquely created, gifted, and talented, and put on this earth at this point in time, in this location? What are you called to do? I think when you find that out, you have a lot more peace, a lot more joy, and a ton more direction that will keep you going across all the obstacles. So my prayer for you is that you will find your specific calling and that you'll plug into it and go change the world, because that's what callings do, is they change the world. So that's the Tuesday Talk for this week. Hope that gives you some ideas and some thoughts. And we will catch you down the road on another Tuesday Talk in the future. Thanks.